Hey folks, Russell Winwood here with my weekly update about the dietary experiment I'm doing, and that is the ketogenic diet, which I've been using for just on 2 years, versus the dietary guidelines for respiratory patients here in Australia, as written by our experts. And these guidelines are fairly similar around the world, so wherever you're watching this, this does apply to you. So I'd like to say after 7 days that I'm feeling great and the diet is working wonders, but it's not the case at all, unfortunately. I went into this whole experiment very objectively because I'd love to be sitting here in 4 weeks' time saying to you, this diet's working really well, and I've never felt so good in my life. It's not the case. My lung function's declined significantly in 7 days. For those of you watching here who don't know much about lung function, so one of the measures we have is an FEV1 score, which basically measures the obstruction we have in our airways. So before I started the diet that I'm on now, my FEV1 was 35% or 1.19 litres, and that's where it normally sits when I'm on a ketogenic diet. Over the 7 days it's declined gradually to yesterday when I measured my spirometry at home. I had a reading of 23% on 0.76 of a litre, which was quite startling. I had felt incredibly breathless. I went off to my respiratory doctor later on in the afternoon, and he tested my spirometry in his surgery with his equipment to make sure mine was giving us accurate readings. And his readings were actually lower than mine, which is even more scary. So in 7 days, my lung function has gone from 35% down to below 23%, and I can feel it. The only thing that's changed in the 7 days is what I'm eating. I'm eating to the guidelines, but it's really hard eating 5 meals a day, and they're not big meals. I'm eating 5 smaller meals a day, I guess. I'm measuring my blood glucose pretty much after every meal. I've missed a few, and what I'm noticing is that spike in blood glucose, which can be related to spikes in insulin, which can be related to spikes in inflammation, which would make sense why I'm feeling like I am. Weight-wise has been quite a shock. I've put on nearly 2 kilos, so nearly, 4.5 pounds in 7 days. That's a lot. I plan to do this diet for 4 weeks, but obviously if things keep going the way they are, I won't be going for 4 weeks. My hope is that what's happened in this first week is a bit of a shock to my body, because I haven't been used to eating these types of food over the last couple of years. So I'm hoping that week 2 will see maybe some stabilisation and maybe some return to normality with my lung function. Time will tell. As far as exercise-wise, I am still out exercising. I've been for 2 30-kilometre rides this week. So everything's staying the same except for what I'm eating. I'm trying to keep everything exactly what I normally would do. It's just the whole eating thing, which I can't understand with these guidelines, how we can get in as many calories as we need. I try and aim for 2,000 calories a day, and when I'm using a ketogenic diet, I can get that out of 2 meals pretty easily, because we've got a high content of fat in those meals. Eating 5 times a day to the dietary guidelines, I still haven't hit 2,000 calories. I've tried, but I can't get there. I think the closest I've got is about 1,800 calories. So I'm probably scratching my head a bit to sort of work out why this is a good diet and why it's recommended. But I won't say any more yet because it's only week 1 and things may change. I really hope they do. It'll be interesting to measure inflammatory markers at the end of this 4-week period because that will definitely tell a story as far as what diet is more inflammatory, whether it's the high fat, low carbohydrate ketogenic diet or whether it's the dietary guidelines, which is more of a higher carbohydrate, lower fat type eating regime. So I think that's all I want to cover for this week's update. Wish me well, and I'll be back here in a week's time to let you know how it's all going. Bye for now.